Hi Beach Channel, I'm Carly and this is Life and Style, and I have a fabulous guest today. She is a fashion stylist for commercial, digital, and personal styling. Welcome, Anna. I'm so excited for you to be here.
Thank you so much.
So I wanted to first dive in with you. How did you start this process? Like, how did you get into this? I feel like this is such like a unique thing, and like, were you always very stylish like growing up, or like how did you get into this?
All right, take your popcorn, people. So there the story begins. No, you know what? I'm getting close to 40.
And don't look at all. At all.
Thank you. But within time and years, I started realizing that everything kind of was even there when I was in the first grade. Because now my mom passed away a couple of years ago, and we found some, like a notepads from first, second, third grade, and I was drawing collections back then. So it was actually always kind of on the surface, but we just never realized. Because when I was growing up, I'm from Siberia, which is North Pole of Russia. There's literally nothing but snow 9 months a year.
Yeah,
so
it's so interesting that you got into this, being up there.
Yes, and I just had always passion for that. I always dressed crazier because technically in Russia back then, everybody kind of wore, I don't know, all gray and black. Now it's slightly different, but back then it was very monotone and boring, I would say. So, but I always had some sort of crazy pants, colorful outfits, some hats, like big earrings. It was always out of the place. And sometimes I even get in trouble in school for that. Like, it was quite funny. But then I was in the hotel business, so I was managing Ritz-Carlton for 12 years in my previous career all over the world. So I kind of lived in different cultures. I moved by myself at 16 years old to Moscow, and then from Moscow I moved to Thailand, to Austria, Hong Kong, Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, and then Miami.
That's so crazy.
Yes, and
like moving to all these places, you kind of like learned people's like the different cultures and how people dress, and kind of like maybe you were able to like influence it on like everybody else's style that you're styling too.
It was very different. Every culture was different, climates were different, and kind of the higher I grew, the less dress code I had. So I started improvising because like in Ritz-Carlton, our dress code was like, I cannot have 4-finger shorter skirt than your knee. So it was very strict. But then I started working at the Miami Beach Edition at the Edition hotels. It's not advertisement. It's one of my favorite hotels because literally there was no dress code, and we were going ballistic when it was Art Basel. We were wearing hats as a manager. Imagine you come in to complain that your room is not ready, and here I am showing up like with like a turban and like, hello, how can I help you? So you're like, who are you? And it was kind of fun because they allow us to express ourselves. And from there I started doing more and more, and kind of throughout my life I was helping my friends and helping and then I moved to manage Delano. But then one day I just sat down and I thought to myself, what can I do that I could be really good at, that I can just turn my passion into a career? And then I just sat on my couch and thought, damn, I can be a stylist. And literally same day I registered to get third diploma online, got the education, started building my portfolio on the weekend. So the days I was not working, I was working second job just to kind of build up the portfolio. And here I am.
And when did you like when was the moment where you were like, wow, I can pursue this fully? Like, to styling, was there a moment? Like, do you remember that moment?
I remember that moment. It was a tough day at work, and I just said, you know what, if I'm not going to make that change and try to pursue my dream, it's just never going to happen. And I was executive director, and I just quit in one day, and here I am. I just made the tough decision when everybody was telling me, don't do that, you're so young, you're so successful, everybody dream about being in your position. And I said, nope, I'm doing it. I'm here.
Passionate about.
Yep.
And like, your portfolio consists of styling for Vogue and GQ, so you clearly went for it and you succeeded getting into these amazing magazines. I mean, that picture right there is like beyond.
This is cool, right?
And like, you were talking briefly about like the whole process of getting the shot, and like the you were saying that there was like a parachute and the pictures are kind of funny with how it all happens.
It was a really fun story.
Yeah.
Well, first it all starts with storytelling, right? We all come up with an idea what we'd like to do. It was a girls' team. It was Daria, the photographer, which one of my favorites. Shani was the makeup and hair, and I was the stylist. And we decided to start doing something different. And Daria goes, I think the parachute. I have a friend who has a parachute or something like that. So we all end up building a story around that. A little that we know that it's really hard to control parachute. So, I have lots of funny reels and stuff, but also aside from having an idea, you have to match the looks, you have to match the makeup. So who is that person? Did she just land on the earth, or she's trying to get out? What is her vision behind? We still want it to be fashionable because it was for glamour.
Yeah.
So it has to be still in, because every magazine has specific style. Photo shoot for Vogue is completely different than photo shoot for Glamour magazine.
Yeah, and I'm sure the whole background behind what they're trying to shoot goes into it as well.
Yep. So we had a fantastic model, Camila. It was a lot of fun controlling that parachute. I had looks shipped from all over the world, from Paris, from Milano, and they were, when it comes to editorial, when you work with high-end designers, literally runway looks, so there is only a certain amount of runway looks. So let's say Chanel has 70 looks, and that collection circling the world only to trusted stylists. So I get that look for 24 hours, and from me it goes to Tokyo. So we have to make sure the weather works on that day, everybody in, everything is ready. So it's always a lot of pressure to kind of first get those looks, because there's only so many stylists that can ship to. Convince them that the vision that we're trying to pursue in the editorial is going to work for the brand. Also, when it's a high-end brand, like between me and you, they prefer to be with the same tier brands. So you cannot have Chanel, I don't know, Balenciaga, whatever other brands mixed with Zara or mass market. So you cannot just get one yes. You have to get 10 yeses from everybody, confirm the look, select from what they have specifically for that day, get them shipped, receive them, and shoot the editorial. Yes, and for this one it was funny because that actually look I'm looking at right now, that was shipped from Paris and it didn't arrive the day before, and it didn't arrive in the morning. So
what do you do in that situation?
We got it, as you can see.
Yeah. How did you get it?
Literally, we working. It's almost the end of the day because you have to really start very early for this type of shoots. So it was already 3 p.m. and then I get notification was delivered. So I'm sending somebody, hey, go pick it up. But it was an apartment building, so we specifically shipped it to a photographer because it was closer to where we were shooting. And our assistant gets there and there is no look on the floor because they just dropped the package. So we're like, no, go to another building because they have 2 buildings. So she walked to another building, to the same apartment, kind of no. So she had to walk the floors, and the courier just dropped it in the wrong, let's say 601, he dropped it at 501. And luckily we were able to find it. So
that
was
insane.
And that's kind of normal. It all the time happens, you know.
You probably had you were like, oh my god.
I think every editorial is a little heart attack for a stylist. There's always something
something, I'm sure. And then you're it's cool that you get to work with all the same people and collaborate to get one type of look, and I find that really cool, and all these artists coming together to get the look, and it's beautiful.
And I think it's also great that we all have ability to say something like what we're trying to achieve, because sometimes when you work with somebody new, you don't feel as comfortable of giving a suggestions to makeup artists, hey, let's do this, because they might take it defensive because they have a vision too. So we're all creative people, and it's great when everybody open to communication, and that's how we achieve something cool like that.
To get into some of your other stuff, like this underwater thing, how do you prep for that? I the clothing, doesn't the clothing get destroyed?
Yeah, of course.
But you go into it with that thought. I'm
yes,
assuming.
Yes, of course. Well, I knew that it's going to be something that cannot have a second life, at least back to the store, right?
Well, you're not gonna use like Chanel to do something like that.
No. That was something we just had the budget for, and I found things that work within that budget. I was going for something that would stand out in the water, right? So that's how you see kind of orange, reds, yellows, and pinks.
Yeah.
Because those are the color that have, you know, we have color theory, we have the color circle, and then you see complementary colors. So that's how I got this color palette. But it was a really fun shoot because you know, the photographer should be underwater. So we were shooting in a pool, and the assistant had to press on the photographer and keep her under the water, literally stepping on her, just so she doesn't float, because that was the time we had to shoot. And unfortunately that day, for some reason, the owners of the pool forgot to switch on the heater, so the model was turning purple.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny that you can look at that and think of all these funny things where I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's like a fabulous photo, but you're like, wait, no, that was like very cold and the photographer almost drowned. That's so funny. I find that so interesting. But aside from the high fashion things that you do, you all are a personal stylist as well. And I kind of want, we talked briefly a little bit about like what you kind of do with your personal styling. You said that you interview people beforehand.
Selling all my secrets. I wanted to
get into that a little bit because I thought it was really interesting. Because I mean, everybody, you kind of have to get a feel for people before and see if you guys kind of vibe as well, and if you're going to be able to achieve what these people want. So what kind of things go into starting with your personal stylist, like the interview, I guess? Like if I was coming to you and I'm like, hey, like I want to like kind of just clean out my wardrobe, do a wardrobe detox. I know that you do wardrobe detoxes, so how do you start
actually,
that?
Another one. So when people call me, and again, I have my personal approach. This is something I've developed over the years, and again, I've been working with people all my life. So
you have a feel. You've been doing it for so long. You have a feel for it.
I almost a therapist. I think right now with everything I've been through and kind of seen what people going through, so I can pick up like, you know, little rings here and there quite easily. But yeah, when people call me, first question I ask them why they call me, because there's always a reason, and most likely, you know, you're not gonna share all your secrets to a stranger that you just start talking to, right? So nobody gonna tell me, let's be brutally honest, like, oh, my husband cheated on me and I just want to look sexier, right? So, or I'm thinking, you know, I'm dating, whatever, I want to look in different way, or I'm a guy, I want to, let's say, go meet a bunch of girls and look successful. 100%. Everybody has a reason, right? And it's not always bad reason, but there is a reason. So my purpose is to understand why they're calling me, because nobody just want to look a certain way, right? There is always something that triggered that desire. And once I know what the problem is, I can understand and I can help in a better way. Let's say I start detox for a lady. She has 5 beautiful daughters. So in the process, we go in through the closet, and, you know, she lives in a very fabulous apartment, penthouse on the water. So, you know, you walk in, you think her life is beautiful. She has grown-up daughters. They're all talking about their family. So you don't pick up something wrong. But then once I pick up, you know, getting looks together, and I just want to look younger, or I just want to, you know, so that I started picking up certain things in the conversation. And then I had to ask, are you together with your husband? Oh no, we just got divorced. So here I am. I know that she needs outfits not to just look pretty as a mother. She needs to go out in a dating game again, right?
You kind of want to gain her confidence back again.
Of course. And it's Miami too. We have a certain look here, right? I'm not saying that everybody have to look that way, but we know what we're against as a woman starting 100%. Out dating game, right?
Yeah.
Same as men. So once I know what the reason is, I can help in the best way. There are some funny calls I would get. Like recently I had a call for a very big executive of a very well-known company that you all know. An assistant called me and said, Anna, we need your help. He's about to be promoted to the CEO of the company, but he never dresses apart. Like he's super, like he doesn't look like an executive. So if he's not gonna get his look together we're not going to promote him.
Mm-hmm.
No pressure, right? So I just have to help him to achieve his top goal in
and
the
be happy
career
about it, probably,
by what
too.
I'm going to dress him
Yeah.
in. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can't fail. I have to make sure he looks this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm sure you're able to achieve. Are men harder to like?
I love working with
You
men.
like working with
Call
men?
me if you look. I love working with men.
Do they kind of just like do what you like? Do you talk to them about what they like, and kind of do you just kind of push things on them? Or are they more
I never
like
push anything on the client. I always listen to what they need, right? Again, what their challenges are. But men, they trust in more, I think. They make decisions faster and easier. So once they see they look good and they feel good, most of them, they like it more comfortable, and they don't spend hours shopping, right? So it has to be fast and furious, I call it.
Yeah.
So once all those kind of elements achieved, they're happy and they love the look. Let's go. Obviously, there are some men that more challenging, or they maybe have more unique look or their personality. But in average, it always goes a little easier on my end, I think. And I think after COVID, it was maybe 20% of male clients. Now I have over 50% of my clientele are male clients.
Oh, wow. That's shocking. Why do you think that is?
Because nobody really knew what to wear anymore, because they're so used to wearing suit for work, and then everything became so casual. So even kind of when things reopened, nobody wears a full suit anymore unless you're a banker or attorney, right? Or maybe top CEO, but even top CEOs don't wear ties anymore most of the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on the kind of area they're in, but.
So you definitely think like the world got more casual after COVID?
100%.
100%. Wow, that's shocking to me. I mean, I always feel like we're in Miami, where everyone like wears heels to the grocery store, and like I feel like we're in a little bubble a little bit. But even Miami, I guess we've shallowed down a little bit. We're a little bit more casual too.
Yeah, I mean, we have a little bit of everything, but a lot of people moving to Miami for the last couple of years, I think. So I'm always getting all those clients that just moved in here and they don't know what to do, because
they feel
what
the
they were in
difference.
Chicago or New York is very different. Miami.
That's so interesting. And how would you dress someone like different from like Chicago or New York here? I guess here it's a little bit more colorful and like more vibrant, or
when it comes to dressing real people, right? We're not talking about public personalities. If you don't generally love flowers or colors, there is nothing I can do to put you in I can maybe throw a little bit here and there, but I'm not going to wear a color because you live in Miami. So it all starts with personality. And if you generally love neutral color palette, that's where you feel comfy is. I'm just going to find something maybe in linen or different fabrics that's suitable, and I'll maybe add an accessory, because in Miami everybody a little bit more flashy, right? So maybe I'll throw a nice belt in there that kind of shows that you're successful, whatever, right? Or designer sneakers, but it's not going to be colorful just because you're in Miami, because I don't like flower prints. I have 3 dresses and I never touch them. They're for sale. But
do you like them on other people, just not on yourself?
It's just not my personality. You see?
Yeah.
The drama.
Yeah,
the drama. This is my personality. I'm not feeling comfortable in flowers. So is everybody.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, so after you do your like call and you sign them on as a client, you're going to go to their house and go through their closet and see what they already have, and then maybe just add to it? Or how does that work? Are they looking normally for a whole new wardrobe?
So it depends on the client. Some people just, let's say somebody 2 weeks ago, she's moving the house and she just wanted to kind of remove something that just been sitting there and move only what she needs to a new place. Some people just need a life-changing effect and they really need transform and they don't know what to do anymore. They don't know what they have anymore, so they need to come and kind of go through everything. So everybody different. Most of the people usually do detox, which I always recommend, because it's one of the biggest steps to success, in my opinion. You cannot just go and buy new clothes and put it in the new
in the same area
in the old closet.
Yeah.
You're not gonna even see it probably, because most of the time it's cluttered. They have things you don't even touch, because most of the people wear only 10% of the closet. They tend to stick to the same look. They repeat them. They use them. They have their favorites and go-tos, and the rest is just sitting there. And sometimes it sits there for decades. And, you know, if you just go and buy some cool looks and you put it in the same place, you're most likely not going to even see them. Aside from organizing the space and kind of, because once I know the client, I tell them what's the best way to organize the closet. I don't do organization, but I give them recommendations. Because some people love it by colors. Some people OCD like my husband, and he likes everything, right? And some people just like things work when they fold it, and some when they see things hanging on a hanger, it's easier to kind of identify where you need to work. So it all depends on the client. I don't believe in kind of specific rules that fits everyone. It's mostly personality and habits. Once I know what's your habits, I can help you.
You can help you. That's amazing. So we're wrapping up here. I want you to pimp yourself out. Tell people where they can find you. Are you on social media?
Social media, of course. My website is stylebyAnnaRuiz.com.
Okay.
My Instagram is annaruiz.mia. Like Miami Airport. I don't know what I was thinking when I was making that.
Hey, but they know that you're in Miami.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, but that's kind of inside joke. Yeah, and now I started a new company also called Shootify.
Okay.
That's e-commerce product photography studio that kind of works with all brands in USA. And we're kind of growing too, so it's a new baby. Wow. So maybe next time when we meet, we'll talk about the success we have achieved.
Oh my goodness, yes. You're going to have to come back and tell us all about that.
I'll work hard on it, so next December.
Yeah, we'll have you back on.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for coming. I loved this conversation and I learned a lot. And I'm sure our viewers learned a lot too. And I hope that they call you too.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was such a fun time.
Bye Beach channel. This has been Life and Style with Carly. I'll see you next time.